G'day, this is Sean, the Australian Restorer. So I picked up something for my mowing business that I hope could become another workhorse, not unlike the Victor 505 that I was able to refurbish a bit. That is now my go-to mower for my business. So this would be a good accompaniment to that. Now what you're looking at here, this is a old school Toro. This one's about 20 years old. Now you note the Recycler 2 tag there. These are a direct ancestor of the current Recycler 2 models, which are 22 inches in width. However, the modern Recycler they're not as well known for their, I guess you could say they're more for the homeowner than a commercial mower. However, this thing also has another direct descendant, and it looks very similar, and that's it's just known these days as the Toro commercial 21 inch. Looks very similar, in fact. The only real difference is got a bit of a bumper bar here at the front. So yeah, and those things have very, very good reputation. Now I picked this one up just for a bloke who's owned it since new, well according to him anyway, and it's only been seen use in his house, in his own yard for nearly 20 years. And it's got a little label on it which indicates that it has been serviced at the, by a proper mower shop. So that gives me some confidence. Now there are a couple of things here to look for, and it was actually this right here that got my eye initially. You'll notice how there's quite a bit of tread on the back tyres. Now what that tells me is that the gearbox hasn't had a great deal of use, or the mower itself. Most of my self-propelled commercial mowers have quite bald rear tyres. Have a look right here, like that one. And this mower is 10 years newer. So yeah, that tells me that at least the drivetrain should be in quite good condition. Now I do believe this fellow when he said that it has only been used in his house, noting that he showed me the replacement that he got for it, and he got another commercial mower. It was a Honda HRU 216, brand new. And so yeah, he just said, look, this just stopped running. It's time, we just thought it'd be time to get a new one anyway. Look, I guess it's one of those people who are happy just to throw a little bit of money at the problem and just be done with the old one and get a new one. Now, what he told me is that it just stops running all of a sudden. As far as he knows, it has spark, oil, etc. I haven't actually checked any of these things yet. It was just too good a price to go past. It was only 80 bucks for this thing. Now, if I get it running, it'll be on par with a $2,000 mower. So otherwise I cut my losses, and so be it, but I reckon we'll be right getting this thing running. Just going to give it a quick inspection. There's fuel. I don't know how old that is. The oil is correctly filled up. Doesn't smell burnt. Spark plug's on. Good compression. Alright. Now some people will disagree with me for doing this. However, I've often found that quickly taking the spark plug off and putting a bit of aero start in is often the quickest way to see if I need to bother looking any further. And this usually just means the fuel's a little bit old. Actually, it looks a little bit oily. I wonder if oil got in there. You can see it all on my, lots of greasy sort of carbon. Well, like I said, I've got this stuff, aero start. Now what this does is just really, it's very, very combustible aerosol. And look, you're really meant to squirt it into the air intake, but I don't know, I just find myself squirting it straight in here into the combustion chamber. Call me crazy. And yeah, like I said, what that'll do, it'll kind of, if there is bad fuel or something like that, oftentimes if it does start straight away, that's just an indicator to me that Alright, well it's just fuel. Obviously everything's fine, it was just having a bit of trouble igniting that fuel for some reason. Now keep in mind, if there's no spark, it won't ignite at all. So yeah, you can usually track the problem down to the fuel. Did I just hear something? Well, that's a good sign. Well, she runs, and that's the main thing. So I've ruled that out. So I'm just going to give it a good service now and clean her up, and she should be nice and work ready. Ordinarily, I'd probably drain the oil first. However, to do that, you need to have the engine running for a little while to warm it up just to get the best results. So what I'm going to do is drain the fuel. Now, I've never played with one of these engines before, so you'll have to bear with me. It's a little bit of exploratory surgery. I'm just noticing, obviously, the fuel line here. It's got a little inline fuel filter going into the carby. So what I'm going to do is just put a bit of rag under there, because I'll probably make a mess and leak some fuel. I just want to unhook this from the filter and see if I can't direct it into this bottle that I have sitting here. That's on tight. If anyone's wondering what I do with the leftover fuel or oil when I service stuff, you just drop them off at your local mower shop, or there's a store in Australia, it's called Super Cheap Auto. They usually have a little bins out the front where you can place your used oils, and they may even take batteries, car batteries, I'm not too sure. But yeah, you don't just chuck it in the bin. It's pretty bad for the environment if all this stuff just leaks into the ground at the landfill. Now, just a point to note here that it might be slightly different colours in appearance just because they're different bottles, but I'll just pour them out at the same time. But yeah, when fuel turns a kind of orangey brown colour, that's a good indication that it has been there for a while and is a bit stagnant. It's usually more of a bluish green colour. So, hopefully we've at least ruled that much out, that bad fuel is contributing. Now, I have no idea how long this has been on there. It could be brand new. Regardless, I do have a new inline filter to put on there. Now, it does have a little arrow. Don't know if you can see that there, but it's right there, and it says flow, and it's pointing that way. Because it is possible to put these things on wrong. Okay, let's get this air filter off and have a look. Oh, I can already see something interesting here. Oh, I can see more so down here. Look at that, on my finger. That's oil. It's made its way into the carby. I have a feeling I know why this thing has stopped running. And if you have a look on the side of the air filter here, there's oil as well. This has been tipped on its side. Now the bloke I bought it off told me that when it was getting used, it just stopped running and they couldn't get it going again. Now engines don't really just do that unless you've kind of hit something and you've bent the crankshaft, which obviously wasn't the case here since I've got it running. The more likely scenario is there's been something blocked or for some reason it's been turned on its side with the carburetor, so in here, being down. So if ever you flip your mower on its side to look under it for whatever reason, always make sure that the carby is uppermost so that none of the oil tips into it. Yeah, so I reckon that has been a big contributor to this not working. I do have another air filter. This one, it looks like actually a Honda, pretty standard Honda one, which surprises me that it's on a old Toro, but that's all right. And yeah, I'll probably pull the intake and the carby off and just give it a quick spray and wipe with some carby cleaner. Let's do that. Yeah, I can smell the oil from here. Oh, yuck, look at that. Oh dear. Yeah, it's a little bit grubby. Look at all the crap coming out of there. Oh, yuck. Yep, no wonder this old girl's struggling. Can't breathe. Oh, that's better. Bloody heavy thing though, but a bit more accessible now. Now, unfortunately, before I go any further, I actually need to put the old filter back on because this one is leaking. It must just be the slightest bit too small. Yeah, look, truth be told, I just kind of bought a generic one. I didn't really size it up, but I have had a look in here. You can see through the gap and down to the mesh. It does seem very free of debris, so well, I have no option at this point rather than put it back on, but it does appear to be pretty clean, which is good. Now this is a throttle body and air intake cleaner, so carby cleaner in other words. Wow, see all the crap coming off under the other side. Incredible. I don't want to break this gasket because I don't have a backup, so I'm just going to be actually, you know what? I'm not even going to take it off. If I can avoid it, it might come off. Oh. Already changed my mind. Let's get this off, but gently. There we go. The seal could use replacing, but it wasn't leaking, so I think we'll get away with that. Alrighty, so I've got to be as spotless as I can. Blowing the inside out, taking the main jet out. Hopefully cleared out any build up and gunk that it had in there. And yeah, so time to put it back together and see how she goes. So for anyone who doesn't quite know how a carby works, it's pretty simple. Basically what it is, it's a mechanism to turn the fuel into a fuel-air mixture, because then it ignites really easily. Now you can kind of see behind it there, that's a spark plug, and this bit here, which funnily enough looks just like that bit because it sits on it, that's in there, is what's called the combustion chamber, and that's basically the area kind of at the top of the piston and where the spark plug, like the tip of the spark plug is. And so the fuel gets drawn out of the bowl up into this, it's like a tube from this end to this end. It's called the venturi, and it's, I'm dumbing this down quite a lot. In there, the fuel actually becomes mixed with the air and vaporizes, and then goes out the other side into there, meets with the spark and goes boom. And yeah, that's it in a nutshell. Obviously there's much more to it than that, but for anyone who's never had any idea of how a carby works or why, that's what it does. Also, these are called the butterflies, and closing them kind of allows more fuel to go in there. So at start, when you put the choke on, it closes the butterfly. Open it up and more air gets in there, runs a little bit leaner, which is more in line with your how it operates when it's running. I've been reading. I think this is actually a 1996 model. Feel free to leave it in the comments if I'm incorrect about that. But yeah, just a quick Google search I did on the model number. That's what I have discovered. So yeah, what are we looking at there? A 25-year-old mower. I do use older mowers than this. I do prefer the older robust stuff, especially like I said earlier, ones like this where it's been looked after and hasn't seen as much use as something else its age. Here's that airbox that we took off earlier. Just gonna give it a wash, just like washing the dishes. Crap coming off it. Here's the old air filter. Here's the replacement one. Yeah, that's it for here, and because I have one, might as well replace the spark plug. I will keep the old one, doesn't appear to be in too bad condition, and yeah, you never know when you might need one, but I always like to replace the spark plug when I'm doing a service and just keep these as kind of an emergency, especially if they're running. Okay, let's see how we go firing this bad boy up now. Everything's nice and clean, the carby's had a clean, it's got a new spark plug, new air filter. Hopefully I can get it going so I can get it nice and warm and change that oil. Alright, so the engine's been running for a little while, so the oil should be nice and lubricated and warm and should pour pretty easily. I've just got myself this little pump here, never used it before. Interested to see how it goes. Don't know which way is which, find out in a second. Does it have any arrows? Nope. Alrighty, well, it's just a matter of topping it up and we're good to go. Now, unfortunately I don't have any long grass to test this on right now because I made my lawn on the weekend, so I just want to demonstrate the self-propelled and just how quickly it goes. I'm pretty happy with this. I think we can definitely call that one a win, and job done. Alrighty, well thanks for watching that one. You'll no doubt see this mower in use on a future Blade Mate lawn care instalment. Okay everyone, you have a nice night.